Today I'm going to give you the top 5 rules for foreign earned income exclusion. If you're an American and a current or aspiring digital nomad or expatriate, you'll want to hear this. Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Christine from Gallivanting Gal Travel, and I am here today to tell you the top 5 rules you need to know if you want to legally avoid paying U.S. taxes on your foreign earned income using the foreign earned income exclusion tax break. If you liked the video, please be sure to subscribe for more helpful information for small businesses and travelers. Please note that this video is intended as a guide to help you determine if you likely qualify for the exclusion. If you decide you do qualify based on my information, you should next check out the resources in the description for additional details. And you can never go wrong with hiring a tax specialist to help you along the way. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, let's head over to my desk and get started. Tip number 1, you must have foreign earned income. But what is that exactly? Foreign earned income is the money you receive for services you perform while you're located in a foreign country that's considered your tax home. Okay, sure, but now what's a tax home? A tax home is where your business is located typically. But assuming you're a digital nomad and working over the internet, your tax home is actually wherever you're living and doing your work. Be careful though, because if you actually have an apartment in the United States that you're not renting out, and you're gonna be gone for just a year and then you're gonna move back, your tax home is likely still in the United States. However, if you don't really have a home address in the United States and your intention is to be traveling indefinitely, your tax home is most likely wherever you're currently located. So when it comes to foreign earned income, the key to being foreign is where you are located. The money you're earning while outside the United States can come from a company that's located in the US or anywhere else in the world. But if you're sitting in Thailand while you're earning that money, it's considered foreign earned income. All right, let's move on. Tip number 2. You must be living in a foreign country based on one of 2 tests. The first test is the Bona fide residence test. The key to the Bona fide residence test is a sense of permanency. You can intend to return home to the US at some point, but you must be established in the foreign country, not just visiting for a short time. This is defined typically on a case-by-case basis if you're not really sure. You have to live there uninterrupted for the entire tax year, which is typically January 1st through December 31st. You cannot have made any statement to the country you're staying in that you're not going to be a resident there. You should also know that if you're in the country for more than a year, you can claim the exclusion for partial years as long as they're in the same time period as the full year that you were there. If you don't pass the bona fide residence test, you could pass the other test, which is the physical presence test. For the physical presence test, you just have to be living in a foreign country outside of the United States for at least 330 full days of the year, midnight to 11:59 the next day. One thing they make sure to point out is that you have to legally be in the country. So if you're illegally in the country, you're not going to qualify for the foreign earned income exclusion. All right, so let's say you passed either the physical presence test or the bona fide residence test. So we know that you are currently living in a foreign country and we know you have foreign earned income. Next, let's talk about the limitations. Tip number 3, there is a limit to the amount of income you can claim on the exclusion. Let's take a look. For 2017, that limit is $102,100, and for 2018, it will be $104,100. However, if you're making above these amounts, you can still potentially claim the additional income as foreign tax credit, This will be based on the type of income and tax rules of the country you're living in, since you can only claim the foreign tax credit if you're paying taxes to another country. Which brings us to tip number 4. You must still file a U.S. tax return, and you do have to report your full income. The form you're going to be looking for when you file your tax return is form number 2555, which you can find on the IRS website. Be sure that if you are going to take the foreign earned income exclusion, that you do not also file for the foreign tax credit on the same income on which you took the exclusion. You can file both as long as you're just doing partial, but whatever amounts that you file the exclusion on, you cannot also get the foreign tax credit. Finally, this takes us to tip number 5. Probably the most important tip of all is you need to know the rules of each country where you're going to be living and working. For any country that you're going to be working in while you're there, you'll need to check their tax filing rules for foreigners. Many countries have a minimum number of days where you have to be living and working there in order to have to pay taxes. Spain, for example, is 183 days. So if you're there for less than 183 days, you don't have to file taxes there. Some countries also have restrictions on whether or not you're even allowed to do work there while you're staying. So make sure you know the rules. The truth is, most tax rules were written before this type of lifestyle was even possible. Working from anywhere is a relatively new concept, so there's not documented rules for all the different options we have while living and working today, and you may find yourself in a situation that doesn't have any rules that require you to pay taxes. It's especially tough if you don't have a home address. So just make sure you're following each country's tax rules, and be sure to talk to a tax professional who specializes in international or expatriate taxes so you don't get yourself into any trouble. Alright, so those are my 5 most important rules for the foreign earned income exclusion. If you think you qualify, as I said, please check out the description below. I put in all the resources that we use for this video, as well as additional information that you can find out if your particular case is specifically covered. And if it is or if it isn't, also know that there's other options for tax breaks in the United States. So be sure to check out the foreign housing exclusion, the foreign housing deduction, and finally, the foreign tax credit. If you do pay taxes in another country, you can get a tax credit so you don't have to pay taxes on those in the US as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video informative and useful for your business and travels. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're interested in more. Click the like button, and we will see you next time. Stay tuned.